Welcome back to Feelings in Flannel. This is Season 2, Episode 1, and we've got an incredible guest, Olivia Binkard, my daughter-in-law, and Amelia's sister-in-law is joining us, and she's bringing an absolute classic. Stay tuned. Feelings in Flannel is hosted by me, Adam.
And what am I, chopped liver?
Oh, that's right. Feelings in Flannel is hosted by us. I'm Adam.
I'm Amelia.
And we are a father-daughter combo who are setting out to debate the merits of love, romance, humor, and faith in RomComs new and old.
Listen and join us as we seek to name the top 5 RomComs and discuss masculinity and femininity together and how that plays into role. Make sure to like and subscribe and share it with your friends on social media.
Stay tuned. And we're back. Season 2, Feelings in Flannel, Episode 1 is happening right now. I'm excited to be recording another season.
Me too. This season has a lot more nerves because, a lot of things could change. And I have a hard time with change. So maybe this will be a great, This will help me.
Well, speaking of change, good intro. It's like you knew what I needed to say next. Speaking of change, there are some changes in Season 2 because we decided to do something a little bit different than what we described in Episode 10 of Season 1. And so we need to describe that for the listener. So Episode 10 of Season 1, what we had described we were going to do is that I would play the role of all-time dad and that you would bring on guests, your peers, and that they would be bringing in movies and we'd talk through those movies. And we're sort of doing something like that. But then we thought, what we could do is let them compete and bring for a certain movie. And what we decided on at the end, which is the beginning here of Season 2, is that our guests, which the goal is to have a guest every episode during Season 2, and so we do have a guest tonight, but the goal is that our guests will bring a movie. We will work through the criteria, and if it scores higher than a movie in the top 5, that it would move into the top 5, and anything that didn't score that or higher would move out or move down, I should say. So, unfortunately, that means we've got a little bit of a reorder. Are you all right?
Yeah.
You need a minute?
I'm just panicking because I'm scared. I'm just scared that so much bad is going to happen.
Why don't you remind the listener, what was the top 5 at the end of Season 1?
5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
Let's go 1 to 5.
Okay. 1, Pitch Perfect. 2, You've Got Mail. 3, Hitch. 4, The Proposal. And 5 was While You Were Sleeping.
Right. And we ended up with that top 5 because in the beginning of Season 1, you brought your top 5. I brought my top 5. And then we pitted 5 against 5, 4 against 4. And whichever one won the criteria there moved into that unified spot, right?
Yeah.
But when we decided in Season 2 that we would kind of let them rank and we would ultimately see, can we get a full 5 that ranks, 6 and 7, kind of only, it reordered that unified 5. And so opening Season 2 here, we need to give you the new order of the top 5 based on the points it scored in criteria. So there's an available 6 total points plus a bonus, making it 7 possible in the end. So a 6 plus 1 is the highest score a movie could make. So what we ended up with now in the top 5 is Pitch Perfect, still at number 1 at 7 total points. The Proposal at 7 total points. You've Got Mail at 6 total points. Hitch at 6 total points. And While You Were Sleeping at 5. So that's our new top 5. Anything to say about that before we get into tonight's conversation?
No, just pain. That's my anxiety. I'm having such anxiety because my biggest fear is that You've Got Mail is going to be booted. Somehow, some way. I'm really, like, there's the part of me that's, it's a classic, and a lot of people love that movie. Even just after season 1 finished, we both received a lot of feedback on people's personal opinions on how it should have gone, especially between the last, our number 1.
Oh yeah, people are fired up.
Rightfully so. So, my anxiety is that You've Got Mail's going to be booted. And it's already been changed to number 3.
But it's carrying a strong 6 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's not overreact.
I'm not
Don't
good at
catastrophize
that.
the situation.
That's something I'm learning.
But it did leave a point on the table. If I remember right, You've Got Mail did not hit the out of place.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity there, but still, as we've seen, it's tough for a movie to score 6, honestly. So we'll see, and you're gonna be okay.
Yes, I have the good Lord. He'll get me through.
We got the good Lord. He doesn't care about any of these rom-coms.
Yes, he does.
No, he does.
Yes, he does.
No.
Then why don't he create
Name
love?
one scripture that tells me he cares about this.
He doesn't say he cares about
Rom-coms. He cares about us.
Well, yeah, but he created love. That's what rom-coms are. Yep, can't argue with that
All
one.
right. Anyway, tonight we are blessed and
Highly
privileged. No. Privileged to have a guest who we both love and adore. My daughter-in-law, your sister-in-law, Olivia Binkard. Welcome to Feelings in Flannel, Season 2, Episode 1.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Now, let's get your take. Are you passionately against or for Pitch Perfect being number 1? Because it's been controversial. It's been controversial.
I'm overall against it. Okay. And I'm scared to say that
because I'll never make you dinner again.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say, actually. But yeah, I'm against it. I think it's not a rom-com, it's a musical, and so it shouldn't even be like a part of the competition because I think it's in a different category. But
okay,
I'll leave it at that.
Well, there's a case to be made, and we'll see. It right now it sits there because it met the only qualifier that we outlined from the very beginning is that it had to internet search as a rom-com, and it does.
Right.
So, but there is a lot of passion around this, and so we'll see. I was just curious your take, and I won't quit making you steak for your opinion, even though it's wrong.
All right.
So, you brought a movie tonight.
I did.
What are we talking about tonight?
We are talking about one of my favorite rom-coms of all time, Top Gun. No,
yes.
I'm just kidding.
Man, how could you do that to me? That was definitely going to be number 1.
No.
I'm just kidding. My movie I'm bringing tonight is Pretty Woman, which is one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. I think my second favorite, but
it is a good one.
Yeah.
A classic.
We've referenced it many, many times.
Many times. We already know that it gets a few points because we've used it as an example to explain the point.
I know, and I was mad it didn't make either of your top 5s. I mean, like, it's one of the best.
I was a little mad at me too.
I thought it was going to be your number 1. That's
too.
what I guessed, I think. And then you threw me for a loop with Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, well, curveball.
Whatever.
Well, Pretty Woman is it's a great movie. Honestly, it really is. So this will be a good conversation. But before we get into the conversation, tell us what the movie's about for those of you who aren't apparently American and never seen this movie. If you've not seen this movie, you either hate life or you were so governed by your religion that you weren't allowed to actually watch film in theater. And I said it, and I'm in it. So tell us, what was Pretty Woman about?
So Pretty Woman's about this prostitute played by the beautiful Julia Roberts. And she gets picked up by this wealthy businessman, played by the beautiful Richard Gere. And it's about their love story and how, I don't want to go into too many details and spoil anything for my points later, but they fall in love and change each other for good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good rundown, pretty good summary.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. So I did fail to state that for the guys opening season 2, Mir is still here, our emotional support acts. And so that's important. That allows us to talk about our feelings openly about these things and expose things that are vulnerable as a male because we can hold the masculine Mir for support. However, sometimes you find yourself in a travel situation and Mir is just too large. And so for your traveling pleasure, yikes, I got right up in my face, we've got Mini Mir. So Mini Mir here can travel with you for emotional security, and that might be necessary during this. So you might look over at some point with my vulnerability about Pretty Woman and see me holding Mini Mir while also bracing myself with Mir. It's possible. But anyways,
All right.
Mini Mir is here, Mir is here, and that means we can get into this conversation. So let's do this.
I'm really scared about this one because this is a classic movie. Mm-hmm. I also love this movie. It didn't make my top 5 because it's just never been like, when I think of my favorite love stories, I don't automatically think of Pretty Woman. However, it is kind of on the level of classics with You've Got Mail. I mean, it's a pretty
I would agree.
dominantly known rom-com. Mm-hmm. That is why I'm scared. Anyway.
Anybody know what year this movie was released?
1990.
1990.
Yes.
So it was just
It's
a couple
older.
years after.
You've Got Mail is 2002.
Nonsense.
2002?
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, that's a walk to remember.
That's the year you were born.
Can we cut that out? I don't want to look stupid.
I was like, what?
I feel quite silly.
I was going to say it's just a little bit
It's 99.
newer.
98.
You Got Mail was 98?
I
Yeah.
thought it was older
Are
than
you
that.
serious?
So I don't
You know
feel
what
that
I'm
stupid.
thinking of is what's the other Meg Ryan movie we had?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Oh.
It
We're in
was
sync.
shoot, classic. I think it's a 1989 film.
When
Joe
Harry Met
versus the
Sally.
When Harry Met Sally.
That's older, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's 89. Anyways, okay, so this is older,
It is.
which makes it technically more classic.
We'll start with, I guess, Gideon Gurley.
I mean,
Bring it.
this is obvious one. Like, you can't watch this movie. There's so many times. I watched it with my husband, and he would just look over at me because I'd be like, oh, it's so cute. Like, it's just so good. It's the heart squeeze, the literal heart squeeze.
It's a physical reaction.
Yes,
You can
it
see
is.
the heart squeeze.
Let's hear some examples on
Sure,
this heart
sure.
squeeze. Let's hear them.
Yeah. I think one of the funny parts is like she is taking a bath and has headphones in and she's singing her heart out and he just walks in and is just like kind of looking at her. And it's just so cute because he's just like, he doesn't like laugh. He doesn't bully her for being goofy. He's just like, oh, that's cute. And you
It's
know,
an
he just-
endearing look of like,
It is.
that's my
It's the
woman
look.
kind of a thing.
the eyes say everything. I mean, it's
Literally.
just,
Are you sure it wasn't a look of that's uncouth?
Dad, just stop.
Why?
This is why women watch these. We get it.
I'm serious.
I mean,
So
maybe, but
her singing in the tub
To Prince,
yes.
if
to
I'm not
Prince.
to
mistaken.
Prince
Which-
gave you a cardiac embrace.
Just the way he looks at her, because
I'm trying it on for a minute.
Say heart squeeze, cardiac embrace. That's just no. That's more.
Dr.
That's
Binkert
more,
in the house.
That's more uncomfy than heart squeeze. Why can't you say heart squeeze?
I can say heart squeeze. I was just trying it on for size. Jeez, my bad. So it doesn't work.
Not cardiac embrace. That one
Alright.
failed.
Okay.
Okay, that was just the first
It's
one.
a heart squeeze. All right, give some more. I'm not on board with that one yet.
Okay, fine. There's, this one is so good. There's, buys her a bunch of clothes, and she gets this cocktail dress for this dinner, and she's sitting at the bar waiting for him. You know what I'm gonna say. And he walks up, and she goes, "You're late," and he goes, "You're stunning." And just that moment, like.
Okay. I'm with you there.
Okay,
Like that's a good one.
The
for
first
sure.
one's just more funny, just pulls you in. That one's just so good. Or later on, he buys her this necklace, and I love this part because it's improv, so I just like nerding out about these things. And he opens the necklace box, and she goes to touch it, and he snaps it on her hand, and they just both laugh. And you love. It's so good.
And her laugh is so amazing.
It is.
I love. She's good at
Number
fake
one
laughing,
laugh,
but that was
yeah.
her real laugh. So it's just like.
Yes.
Yeah, his stuff. Julia Roberts is incredible.
Oh yeah.
In this movie, she's incredible generally as an actress. So that helps make this movie for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like you fall in love with her as a human being in this movie. And I don't know that this was her breakout movie, but it had to be close.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which one was, but.
Okay, so heart squeeze, cardiac embrace.
Okay.
Scores a full
Oh,
point?
definitely.
Full point.
And there's so many more.
So many more.
Yes.
But we
I was
don't have
trying
enough
to
time for
limit.
that.
All right. Okay, so we've got one. So let's roll to something that should be clear and obvious. Out of place. I mean, walk
gotta
us
think
through
about
it.
this.
Yeah. Clearly a point, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
And the reason she's out of place, causes one of the most amazing lines in all of movie history, because she walks into the beauty store after being denied, and she's like, "You guys work on commission, right?" Big mistake. Big. Huge. And everyone knows that line. Everyone loves that line. It's because she's out of place. She gets denied to even shop at a place because she's dressed the way she is. And then she comes back and she's like, "Sucks to be you. Could have bought a bunch of clothes here."
so let's talk about her character for a minute, because the description of the movie, what you get is, hey, she's a prostitute, she's working the street, that's how she's making her money. But let's talk about her character, right? Because we come to find more out about her character in the movie. So what's the real deal here behind her character?
You fall in love with her because you learn that she's not just this.
Slut. I got you.
Yeah, I was trying not to say it, but thank you.
That's all right, I'll say it. I'm committed in season 2 to just be me, so
Okay.
that's what it is.
That's good. Yeah, and you learn she had a hard childhood, and she says you don't plan for this. She met her friend who was a prostitute, and she kind of just got into it. But she has this dream that she brings up multiple times of just meeting her Prince Charming and kind of being carried away like the fairy tale. She doesn't want this life. You can tell she's really better than this life.
I think what it does when it unpacks that side of the character is it lets you into the reality that nobody genuinely wants this life. There is a number of people that are trapped unfortunately, in this world, and some quite literally forced even into that world. But in this case, you get a window in that she has hopes, she has dreams, and that's really cool for me, especially spending the last 10 years of my life studying and valuing what humanity is and why it's so powerful, and we all have that in common. That's a human thing to want better for yourself, to dream and envision yourself having things. And that's what you get to see in this movie, which is nice. So when you say, this is clearly a full point because she's out of place, I mean, she is now in high society. Those who, had the privilege, had the access, all of this, and now she's invited not only to the party, but to dance, to participate in all the things. And it's hilarious what she does that just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And you fall in love with that because Richard Gere's character, whatever his name is in the movie, just continually makes it okay and makes those in that society look like the ones who are wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of Julia Roberts' character. So full point here. I mean, we could keep talking about that, but so two out of 2.
I got this.
This is good. This is good. It's a good movie. Let's go. What do you got?
The shift is my second point.
I love the shift, and I think there's two. I think there's a more surface level one, and then like a deeper one. I think so. I think the first surface level one, first of all, he hires her for her services to begin with, but then he ends up hiring her for a whole week. So she just kind of hangs out with him and goes to like business things with him, and you learn eventually that like she goes to this horse race with him and she ends up talking to this guy, just being friendly, and later on that night he tells her like, I was jealous that you were talking to this guy, and you learn like he's starting to like her. They're not just hooking up. They're starting to like each other more, and like he apologizes for something he did to her, and you know, it starts to become more of a real relationship, I think, that night. But then I think one of the next days, which is like it's a giddy and girly moment. I guess early on in the movie, she clearly states she does not kiss people on the mouth because it's too personal or too emotional, whatever. But then there's one night like that they after like a date they had or whatever, and she kisses him on the mouth, and you're just like, oh, she loves him. Like,
She let down her wall.
yes.
Cardiac embrace.
Literally.
Yes. And so you see that shift of like they actually care about each other. It's not just he's
Kind of
paying
shifts
her.
at different points then, right? I mean, from what you're describing, his shift was recognizing that he's attracted to the fact that she's different. And then felt a little bit of jealousy, which is a good early indicator of something other than just like, you know.
Friendship.
Yeah. And then hers much later in that bit. So.
And
okay.
I like that aspect of it. That's one of the greatest scenes in the movie, because it's like they kind of have like this friendship developing through that week that he's with her, and they just joke around, and she's just so blunt and so in your face character, and you know he's taken back by it at first, but then he's like falls in love with it, or he's endeared by it. And I like how the friendship becomes more than friendship, and how they, you know, by that moment, and how she kind of lets down that wall. It's so good.
It is so good.
I know.
Okay, so that was 3 for 3. You are doing well. You
On a
are
roll.
doing well.
Thank
Our
you.
relationship is going to be intact. I'm certain of it. I can't speak for you and Amelia.
It's questionable.
Look,
It
if
just
I get
depends.
all 7, your movie, You've Got Mail, is still going to be on the list. I'm not kicking you off the list. I'm not.
No. I
Okay,
can't
okay.
yet. I'm not there yet. Anyway, what's your criteria, Dad?
Moving on.
All right, next criteria. So the fourth criteria, then coming back to me, let's go with a redeeming, redemption for a character, right, in this context. And, you know, if you watch season 1, we don't need to talk about this because I have used Pretty Woman as the example for this criteria.
In like every episode.
Over and over and over again, because it captures it. He changes the way he sees humanity, recognizing that her choices are to really achieve something she sees for herself, not because she's just a whore, right? And she changes her view of people with privilege, recognizing that they're human also. This one crushes. It hits all of it. It should probably get more than a point for it, but it can't because that's not possible. But
why?
But why?
You're making the rules. And you
know.
said you think
this is a partnership, and I don't agree with that rule.
Okay, I tried.
So for the sake of time, definitely 4 for 4 right now. And back to you, Amelia. And we're at 24 minutes, so we're doing okay. But
Okay.
we'll keep it moving. Oh boy,
Girl, I got this one.
that's not good. That's not a good look.
I have things in my head. I'm like, I'm at such a battle right now. It's okay. I'm going to be the bigger person, and I'm going to act like I'm 22.
Okay.
And the next one is cute moments that they know each other.
I mean, The end of this movie is just it.
The biggest cardiac embrace ever.
Yes.
What? Yes, thank you. Cardiac embrace is making a run here.
It's
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what boinks up on the screen when I say cardiac and
Don't say boinks. That's it.
It boinks.
I know, I like the boink, but it just sounded really weird.
Exactly what it does. You say it. You say heart squeeze. Say it.
Heart squeeze.
All right, try it again. Whenever you say heart squeeze, it boinks. Do it.
Boink.
Say heart squeeze.
Oh, sorry, heart squeeze.
See?
Boink.
It happens. You don't have to do it. It happens.
I just apologize.
Yeah, but a grown
what
man saying the word boink is
It just it threw me off guard. I was like, what did you just say? Anyways.
So I'm just curious what comes up when I say cardiac embrace.
Right. I like that one.
All right. Anyways, moving on.
Okay.
Describe the end. You're envisioning something together.
Yes.
I love this movie and I can't picture it. So describe it.
Okay, so early on, describes her perfect, like her dream, her fantasy, whatever, and it's for her prince to come on a white horse holding a sword, saving her from her tower, and he climbs the tower and then saves her. Okay, the end of the movie,
Breathe,
it's so
Olivia,
good.
breathe.
It's so good. She's on her in her apartment, which is on a top story, which he's scared of heights, so he has to face his fear of heights to do this, which is even better. And he comes in a white limo, like the white horse, holding an umbrella, like a sword, and he then gets out of the limo and climbs up to her apartment window and saves her from her apartment, and they fall in love and happily ever after. And it's just he listened to her fantasy, her dream, her childhood dream, and made it come true. And it's the greatest thing ever.
And with redemption, he says, now what happens now? I saved you or something like that. And she saves him back or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on. Like, I'm so upset because I know I'm.
So he climbs the fire escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's why I like this, because it didn't go. The movie, I think, had a chance for it because he's wealthy.
Yep.
To go to a place that was like, that's pretty lame, like an actual white horse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
and
all of that. But it doesn't. It kind of pulls it into this place with the limo, the umbrella, and the client facing his fears and all that. So yeah, that's pretty rock solid. He was listening. What about the other way? Because really, a full point here is that it kind of goes
both ways.
Okay. Well, I have one that I like, but I don't know if this counts, like, for your criteria. I don't know. But they go on a date, and he's, like, stressed out. So she takes his shoes off and makes him walk in the grass to, like, calm down, and shows him. Later on, he's stressed out, and she's not there, and so he goes and does that. Like, so he's thinking about her. I don't know if that counts as the criteria. Maybe not. But I have more things.
Well, I think that's still him knowing her.
Oh, wait. So wait. I was confused. She needs to know him?
Yeah, I think for a full solid point.
Oh.
What do you think? Is there anywhere where she kind of does that and to communicate to him, hey, I know you?
Oh, yeah. He takes her. Okay, I got it. Yeah. Sorry.
Just spit it out.
Okay, so he's afraid of heights, which I just said, and she keeps that in mind. He takes her to the opera, and they get box seats, and they walk up there, and she's like, "Whoa, why'd you get us box seats? You're afraid of heights." And he's like, "It's the best seat in the house." So she's like, "Whoa, shouldn't we sit that down there because you're scared of heights?" And he's like, "No, it's okay. You need to experience the opera." It's beautiful.
No.
I don't see it because she didn't buy the tickets.
I'm trying to think of that whole.
She's a hooker. She doesn't have that kind of money.
Dang.
She would if she could.
That feels pretty flimsy.
Okay,
like that would be a stretch. But I'm really trying to think of the rest of the movie.
Yeah, right.
It's really him.
It's interesting because in this movie, he seems to be swoon. Is that a word?
Yeah, it's a word.
First.
Yep.
Oh, like he.
And so he's paying more attention. It's almost like in her world, she's just doing her job until she's not, right? And she realizes, oh my gosh, I've fallen in love with him. And I think because of that, you don't see it as much in the movie where she's demonstrating, I know you, through the movie. It's mostly the other way, and him pulling her into this world, saying, I don't care what they think. I approve of you. And that's really powerful. And I think his knowing of her certainly gets half the point. It might be strong enough to even still maybe get an extra quarter, quarter points could be a thing. We didn't do that in season 1, but I can go for half for sure, but I think it's only on one side of the equation.
I feel like how they filmed it, or one of my favorite parts about that movie is like you kind of go into it thinking, oh, he's going to make her realize she's more than what she is. But they kind of flip it to where he's the one being pulled out of his kind of ideal of, I don't need anyone. And he's focused on work. And she pulls him out by, takes a day off of work for the first time. People are like, he's taking a day off of work. So it's like you see him being pulled out into this kind of, you can care for somebody, and they read in the park, and they have that cute moment. So that's why I like it, is because like you're expecting this, but then you realize that's how they saved each other at the end, which it's just so beautiful. But I guess I really thought that it was both ways, but now I
did too, but like
it's
I
really
just didn't
him.
think about that.
But it's just so beautiful, you just forget.
I know.
That's okay though, because you're doing well.
Yep.
3.5 points here. We've got 4 criteria on the table.
Okay.
3.5 points so far. Let's get to my. We're up for me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We did
Creative and patient
redemptive.
pursuit.
So that's the next one.
Yep.
Creative and patient pursuit. So where are you in this? On this one, what do you see?
Yeah, I think he, this is mainly about him pursuing her, like we just talked about. It's more on his side. And it's definitely like patient, because I think he realizes that he likes her pretty early on, but he doesn't want to, he's not trying to, I don't know what I was trying to say. I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Like he's not pushing it.
That was. Did you see the train go across the screen?
Yes.
Like you mean like he didn't? He kind of subtle about it, or like he's kind of hiding it.
Yeah, but he does think like he gives her money to buy clothes, and at first he's like, just do it yourself, but then he goes with her. And then he gets her a necklace, and then, takes her to the opera and just takes her to experience things. And then it's the other way around. Like, she kind of is like, take the day off work. And she shows him, like, just goes to a simple cafe and, like, does things. So they kind of just, like, show each other, like, different things like that. And then I think the creative pursuit comes in at the end with him and the white horse kind of thing, is where the creativity comes in for sure.
It can't be a 0 point because of that. Like, that was creative. He thought outside the box on that one. But yeah, it's funny because when you had told us, as all the guests do ahead of time, here's what it's going to be, I was like, oh no, it's going to bang through these easily. Yeah. And here again, I think, where do you think? I'm from this side of it, I think there's a pursuit. But even still, in the beginning, like the shopping, the necklace, these things, it's him trying to make her look like she's in the society. Yeah. Instead of pursuing who she actually is and the silliness. And that comes later, and he definitely gets there. So, again, I'm 4 points here, but I don't know about a full one.
I don't know. Pretty early on, they're like, he starts talking to her about, like, his dad and his past and stuff, and like lets her talk about her childhood and stuff. That's pretty early on in the movie. So I would say it's patient, but it's your game, I guess.
It's just hard because it's like they give this whole persona the whole time it's just a job. Like he's like, I'm just doing this for you because you could do better than this. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm just here to, get paid and do whatever you need me to do. And so it's like it's there, but it's almost like it's not portrayed as that yet with how they do it. It's kind of like, I'm doing this to help you, and just because you're out of the goodness of my heart rather than out of I love you. And then you have the shift where it's like, oh.
I think my instinct is like in the beginning is just running them down in my head when you told us it was going to be Pretty Woman was, oh man, it definitely is patient. But I think I feel the patience not in his pursuit, although it is there. I certainly I'm at a half a point. But I think it's the patience of the movie. It's like their love story develops in the sense of really them just doing life. It doesn't come at those events. It comes in between the stuff. It's that kind of thing. So I'm at a half point, but I'm not the only one deciding here. So what do you think?
I would agree with the half point. I think my fear just kind of like, because I was like, oh my gosh, Pretty Woman is such a good movie. And you think on, like you're saying, the surface level, you think of Out of Place, yep. Redemption, yep. Patient Pursuit, yep. But then, like, thinking through it more in detail, it's kind of like, well, I guess not as boom as you expect when you think. So yeah, half a point.
So let's give it a half. And let me say this: we're season 1, episode 2 here. We got a barn burner right out of the gate. This is getting good.
A barn burner.
That's an old school thing for basketball games back in the day. They used to call them barn burners when it was like overtime game or something like that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is about rom-coms, not sports. All the sports fans understood that. But right now, 5 criteria, 4 points. That's still rock solid. This is going pretty well for you. 4 out of 5 points. Your last criteria, we're down less than 5 minutes. So what is the final criteria? And I think we already know what's going to happen on the bonus. So let's, what's the final criteria?
Yeah. Yes and yes. My last one is cute moments that show they know each other.
We already did that one.
We did?
We've done 6 criteria.
Wait, that's mine though. Giddy, girly, shift, cute moments.
Yeah, which we did.
Oh, we kind of, guess what? I'm like, giddy, girly, heart, cute moments are kind of, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So yes.
Point. For sure.
Full
so
point.
5 out of 6 is where we're at. And we're going to land on the soundtrack. It's the confusion comes in the way that gets talked about, like the cardiac embrace, for example.
Ure.
Because a lot of the cute moments are the heart stories.
Are also cardiac embraces.
That's why I really was like, dang, I should when I think about my criteria, I'm like, 1 and 3 are kind of too close. And
Gotcha. Sorry, I thought we already did that.
Amelia's 3 criteria were basically love, and love.
Whoa.
What else is there? It's a rom-com.
Soundtrack is the bonus.
I mean, come on.
The
title of the movie, one of the greatest songs. Come on.
This soundtrack is incredible.
Yes.
For sure. Everybody, every generation can get these songs. Like they recognize them because they've just been so iconic.
Yeah. If my husband, his son, her brother, a 19-year-old man can be singing along to this song, it's got to be good,
Did this happen?
Yeah, he was
Bust
singing.
him out right now. Let's do this. Let's do this. What happened? Tell the story. We're making time.
Aiden sang?
It wasn't.
Was it country? Aiden, I love you. I'm so proud. If he's even listening.
He's not.
I know. He felt it in his soul, though.
He has not watched one episode. What a jerk.
Except for the ones we watch when we're at the house, like with our whole family.
Maybe we'll make him watch this one. I don't know. We were just sitting there. It wasn't even Pretty Woman, I don't think. It was one of the other songs, all the classic, 80s songs in there.
Thinking.
I think
There's
it was
Prince, too.
I think it was King of Wishful Thinking. I don't remember which one. But he's sitting there and just boogieing and singing along. And I'm just like, who is this? But rom-coms bring out the best in everyone, so.
There it
I
is.
like that.
Listen, mission fulfilled.
Wait, but I just been dying to say this because I remember it has Kenny G in the movie.
It does.
The Songbird, and if Uncle Lucas is watching, he knows. Because we're like that. Okay, I need to calm down. I'm trying to. And I kept getting flustered. Anyways, in the movie, she's sitting there. She has the Kenny G Songbird playing in the background. So automatically, that's like, if this movie would have won, I'm like, okay, that gives me some peace because
that's Kenny G.
Kenny G makes everything better. That's
Sure.
what I had to say, and I've been waiting to say that.
On that note, Kenny G has never inspired a man to watch a movie or attend a concert. It's just never happened. But on the Kenny G note, soundtrack wins here. Mm-hmm. It's a full point. And the fact that you just described that it caused your husband, who happens to be very familiar to us, especially as my son, he is quintessential masculine, sports, guns, working on cars, even works in the trades.
Yep.
Can't get more masculine, really, by society's standards than that. And he boogied,
Yep.
it's your
He was
words,
boogieing.
and singing along, which means our mission to invite men to join in on watching rom-coms and enjoy them has been fulfilled.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. But back to the scoring, 6 out of 7. Congratulations.
I'll take
That's
it.
a heck of a score. Let's see where it falls in the rank. And so where we end up with is it scores a 6. So a 5 plus 1, which moves it all the way up. Ooh, we've got 3 5 plus 1s now. It lands in number 5, beating While You Were Sleeping, that scored a 5. Hitch is a 5 plus 1. You've got Mail, 5 plus 1. So now we've got a 6, 6, 6. Dun, dun, dun. A 7 and a 7. That's where we're at with our top 5. And thank you. You just entered the arena and won, coming in the number 5 spot. Technically a 3-way tie between
Right.
3, 4, and 5.
So I think if another 7 comes along, I should come back and make a case why While You've Got Mail should be knocked off instead of
What?
Pretty Woman.
No.
They're both 6s. They're on the same level.
No. Oh my gosh, Olivia.
And on
may not
that
have a
note, our
relationship.
family was torn apart on
Thanks for
feelings.
watching.
Hey, great episode. That was a lot of fun.
It was. Thanks for having me.
All right, season 2's kicked off.
Pretty strongly. Great. I thought we cut. Stay tuned.